Happening now, the first heavy snowfall of the season is expected to hit our area. We have live team coverage of what you need to know ahead of the storm. And the Northwest Arena in Jamestown celebrates an important milestone today. Plus, why students at Jamestown High School are opposed to metal detectors within the building. We hear an update from officials on how to keep kids safe.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
And we start with live breaking news. I'm Justin Gould. Firefighters are battling flames at a former Jamestown factory previously deemed on the verge of a catastrophic collapse. Flames broke out just before 11:30 today. The Jamestown Fire Department was dispatched to 1061 Allen Street. When crews arrived there, they reported the structure was fully engulfed. Here's a live look at the scene now. Additionally, crews were called from nearby Falconer Fire Department to assist. Our Bronson Rasmussen is live at the scene. Bronson, what's the latest there? Obviously, it looks like right now firefighters are dealing with a lot.
That's right, Justin. Crews are showing up by the minute right now. Just in the last few minutes, I saw Celeron show up. Stations from all across the county have been called to this massive blaze that is occurring here. When I was talking to some of the people that were just watching this, they know the area and they are surprised that this hasn't happened sooner. This dilapidated building that's been on the verge of collapse for what seems like forever now.
Yeah, Bronson, and I know that I was looking at some information that we had earlier from previous reporting just a few months ago back. It looks like in February, the DOD actually released a warning to anybody who was in this industrial area along Allen Street that this building is not safe. It is not safe to enter. And that was one of the first things that came over the fire scanner this morning when crews were dispatched to this scene, is the fact that do not go in the building because it's not safe. It was posted, so no one should have entered the building here at the scene of this Allen Street. It's 1061 Allen Street. It's been a problem property for the Department of Development and City officials for really years, as the structure has decreased at a rapid rate. Officials were working with, I believe, a firm to try to hold the property owners accountable. This was reporting back from February of 2022, this year, that we had. And before something like this were to happen, the goal was to bring it down. But obviously now, as you can see, the full building fully engulfed by flames. And just in recent memory, we think of that Crescent Street factory. That was arson. Not saying this is. We don't know the cause. Obviously, very preliminary. As you see there, some of the structure now just falling apart. The bricks falling to Allen Street, and within itself there, as an outside wall now completely collapses. Now, what would I believe to be the western side of the building here along Allen Street. Now, Bronson, I'm not sure if you can still hear me or not, but I know I did see the mayor there. I'm not sure if you were able to talk to him for an update. As of this point, I imagine much of the area probably closed to street traffic along Allen Street as crews worked this. Do we know preliminarily if anybody was inside at this point, or is this all still too new to report?
Well, Justin, I have spoken to the mayor, not on camera yet, but from what he had told me, crews that are here did not see anyone upon arrival, and really there was nobody in the area. But as I've been here, a lot of people have gathered to just see this blaze. Now, the street when I was coming up was blocked off. They have it blocked off pretty far back, almost to where Buffalo and Allen Street meets. I don't know about the other side, but I do not see any traffic over there, so they probably have that blocked off at Allen and Tiffany there, Justin.
Yeah, I can give you the official word here from the city's new alert system that they just launched. They're asking people to pretty much avoid all of Allen Street between Buffalo and Tiffany due to this ongoing structure fire. as that road is closed. And of course, a discolored water possible, according to the BPU, in the area as crews are tapping into nearby hydrants near where this took place. But nevertheless, at least some good news there to report, in the sense that it doesn't appear that anybody was inside when crews first arrived on scene. Now, I know when they did arrive there to this Allen Street address a little before 11:30 this morning, so about a half an hour ago, the call was from the first chief on scene that the building was fully engulfed. And now 30 minutes later, you already see that progression now of this structure, as it is now deteriorated so much so that it looks like I'm counting at least 4 floors within the main aspect of the structure. It's pretty much taken out that 4th, 3rd, and 2nd floor, as we see firefighters are now on that exterior attack, pretty much just putting as much water as possible onto this.
Well, Justin, if I can make a comment, I remember directly from Jamestown Fire Chief Matthew Kuhn that a fire doubles in size about every 7 to 12 seconds. So in the short amount of time from then to now, this fire really has grown. And as you can see here, pieces of the building are continuing to fall onto the street.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely going to be a story, of course, that we're going to continue to follow all day long here on WNY News Now. It looks like the mayor may be here now to provide an update. Bronson, I'll let you go ahead and talk to him if he does have additional information for us.
All right, Justin, that sounds good to me. All right.
Understood.
Here we are with Mayor Eddie Sundquist at the scene of this fire. What all do you know about the start of this blaze?
Yeah, so we're unsure about how this started at this point. We'll have investigators that will go in after the fire starts to die down. Unfortunately, this site has been an issue that we have raised for not only the council but for the public for quite some time. It's a site where we brought in not only the New York State's Department of Environmental Conservation, but the Federal Environmental Protection Agency has been a part of this. There's a lot of contaminants on this former Crawford site, and they have not been remediated. So we've had the owner in court several times. This is truly a difficult thing to see, this building go up in blaze when we have active manufacturing companies right next to it.
And there was nobody on site, nobody in the building when crews first arrived?
Unsure of that at this point. Right now, all of our crews are fully focused on trying to fight this fire. Once we have more information, we'll happily give it to you all, but right now we're just trying to protect the rest of the structure, which is already starting to fall into the street. We've called in additional resources. I just got off the phone with the governor's office, and so we're asking for additional support, especially this involves the cleanup of the site once the fire finally dies down.
All right, thank you. This is Mayor Eddie Sundquist with us. Justin, back to you.
All right, Bronson, Mayor Sundquist, thank you both very much. If you're just joining us, here's the absolute latest that we know for you this half hour. At about 11:30 this morning, Jamestown fire crews began to battle this blaze at a former Jamestown factory that was previously deemed earlier this year at the risk of a catastrophic collapse. We saw within just the last 10 minutes of our broadcast that indeed has occurred now due to fire. Just before 11:30 this morning, the Jamestown Fire Department was dispatched to 1061 Allen Street. When crews arrived there, they reported the structure to be fully engulfed by flames. As the mayor just told our Bronson Rasmussen, they're still trying to figure out if anybody was possibly inside at the time. However, preliminarily, it doesn't appear so. Immediately, crews called for additional aid from the nearby Falconer Fire Department to assist in battling this massive blaze. And as you can see, really, the entire aspect of this former factory here on Allen Street is now engulfed by flames, with the upper floors just moments ago, as you saw, collapsing. I'm sure if you're within the Jamestown area and you look out your window, you can probably see what Bronson's documenting now, that plume of black smoke that's really carried across much of the city, as the exterior fight from firefighters now simply to try to preserve some of these other factories that sit around where this site 1061 sits. to try to prevent the fire from spreading earlier. Some of that heat caught grass across the street on fire. So we're going to, of course, continue to follow this and bring you updates, of course, online and on air at WNYNewsNow.com. Of course, with this breaking news, we have prepared a full show for you today, covering many topics, including the threat of severe winter weather that is on the horizon for us. Coming up next, we're going to continue our team coverage as we take a look at our latest First Defense weather forecast and what the state DOT here in our area is doing to try to keep you safe, and of course, following this breaking news. Stay with us.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than Dwyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on Dwyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. Dwyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
Firefighters are currently battling flames at a former Jamestown factory previously deemed on the verge of collapse. We took this at the top of our broadcast just a little while ago. Crews were called before 11:30 to 1061 Allen Street. When they arrived, they reported the structure was fully engulfed by flames. We're going to continue to monitor this situation and provide updates when we can on air and online. Another big story of the day today. Be sure your shovels and snow blowers are ready to go, as the first significant snowfall of the season will be coming our way over the next few days. Our team is standing by with everything you need to know. We start with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, who has the latest on the threat of this storm. Hello, Dakota.
Yeah. Hello, Justin. Well, we've got some lake effect snow to go through. First of all, this is the radar imagery over the past couple of hours. Notice the lake effect snow moving more to the north now, but we are going to see that moving further to the south. So we have a lake effect snow warning in effect for Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, and Erie County, Pennsylvania. That goes until 10 o'clock on Thursday, and we are going to be looking at the potential for some heavy lake effect snow occurring through this time frame. So in terms of the impact, snowfall is really up there on the high end of the scale. Blowing snow could be an issue as we have wind gusts around 30 to 35 miles an hour, and travel will definitely be an issue as we go throughout this time frame as well. So here's a look at the in-house computer model. It does a pretty good job, I think, with the overall snow accumulation, or at least the snowfall. Notice the lake effect snow band starting to set up through the overnight hours tonight. Those bands are going to continue through tomorrow. So as you head out the door tomorrow, it is going to be a rough commute as you're going to be dealing with those bands of lake effect snow. But notice how the snow starts to kind of move itself a little bit north and then move itself to the Buffalo Metro. That's really going to be the main issue as we go, pardon me, as we go into the weekend. So these are snow totals just through Friday. So we're looking at about a good 8 to 13 inches across the southern tier. So you will need shovels, you will need plows, but the bullseye really is going to be across the Buffalo metro area. I will talk about that along with the Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-Day a little later in the show, Justin.
All right, Dakota, we will look forward to seeing you in just a little bit. And of course, we'll continue our coverage throughout the night. And part of this is getting ready for the storm, as the state DOT, they're one of the many areas who are getting their fleets up to date to keep roads safe for drivers. Our Julia Gress reports.
So we're training our operators. We are tuning up all of our equipment. We're making sure our salt barns are full.
Collaborating with the National Weather Service and New York State Police, officials have plans in place to divert traffic if roadways like Interstate 86 become impassable.
We also have emergency gates that will come down on your major expressways, the on and off ramps, so that we can control traffic if we need to close a stretch of highway so that we can better clear it if it's not safe.
Over the winter months, the DOT hires extra plow drivers to help maintain the highway. Those 18 and up with a CDL license are encouraged to apply.
We are staffed adequately. I want to stress that we are ready for whatever Mother Nature may bring us this weekend. We're going to do our best. However, we do like to pad our numbers over the winter. We all know winter is not a short season in Western New York. It can extend for months and months and months. So we can't burn out like our same staff. So we like to bring on additional people so that, we can spread the work amongst many.
While plow drivers receive extensive training, DOT officials need help to keep the roads clear and safe for those traversing the storm.
New York State has one person in the plow. So that person is driving, they're dispensing the salt, and they're operating the wings. So, these are highly trained specialists that are driving these snow plows. And that's why we always like to take the opportunity to remind the traveling public, you need to be courteous when you encounter a snow plow.
Furthermore, it is not safe to pass a plow. Drivers should give space, and that the safest place to drive is behind a snow plow. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
A poll of students at Jamestown High School reveals that most in the student body feel metal detectors would not be a good solution to address safety concerns within the building. Bronson Rasmussen is taking a closer look at what students have to say and the district's latest plan to keep our kids safe.
Brought forward by student members of the Jamestown Public Schools Board of Education on Tuesday, they had asked the student body about a proposal that calls for updated security at entrances to Jamestown High School, specifically metal detectors. The call for metal detectors first took center stage after a group of parents spoke out about safety concerns at JHS, following an increase of bullying and fighting within the school. Students polled said while metal detectors would most likely be ineffective, concealed weapon detectors could be a viable option in their eyes. The student board members went on to say that use of either security measure would give the appearance that Jamestown High School is a prison where fights with knives on the daily take place. The school's Board of Education president, Paul Abbott, believes that the solution starts at home.
In any matter of education, whether it's safety or the success of a child, family intervention at home and family involvement at home is always the key.
He goes on to say that metal detectors in schools will not make a difference.
If you look nationwide at some of the horrible things that have happened in the schools, metal detectors wouldn't have made a difference in a lot of them because but hardening of the targets, making schools more difficult to get into and less accessible to people who would do harm.
In the end, Abbott says that if any parent has concerns, to contact the Board of Education so they can help.
We have, over 4,000 students in this district. We can't know everything that's going on all the time. We try our best.
The school system has employed the help of social workers and community outreach specialists to help students at home who might be dealing with issues. Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you. Now, there is already security staff in place specifically at Jamestown High School. A 40-year-old Cattaraugus County woman is accused of raping a child. The sheriff's office there announced the arrest of Deborah Timbaland of Little Valley today. She was charged with first-degree rape, first-degree course of sexual conduct against a child, and third-degree obscenity. No specific details of the alleged crime were released. Now, since arraignment, the woman had been remanded to county jail. A wanted 21-year-old Jamestown man is accused of threatening police officers with a baseball bat. Jamestown police were performing a warrant check on Robert Gilbert at an East Side address around noon yesterday. After making contact with Gilbert, he allegedly exited his apartment, swinging a baseball bat near officers. As Gilbert dropped the bat, police report he was taken into custody. The man allegedly continued to struggle with police as they tried to escort him to a nearby patrol car to be taken to city jail. In addition to the outstanding arrest warrant, he now faces additional charges of resisting arrest. A federal judge has temporarily blocked New York State from issuing its first batch of retail licenses for recreational cannabis in 5 regions. Our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein spoke to the cannabis associations about what impacts this could have on New York's new marijuana market.
As the state prepares to begin adult recreational marijuana sales by the end of this year, Brooklyn, the Finger Lakes, and other upstate New York regions are facing legal challenges over retail cannabis licenses. On Thursday, November 10th, a federal judge halted the state from issuing licenses for recreational marijuana while a resolution pens from a lawsuit filed by a Michigan-based cannabis company challenging the license selection requirements. The lawsuit argues the state's selection process favors New York residents over out-of-state residents and violates constitutional interstate commerce protections. And the judge's ruling affects 63 of the 150 licenses the state had planned to issue. Michael Cooper from the National Cannabis Industry Association says this litigation highlights the importance of social equity provisions and implementing federal cannabis reform.
These lawsuits are about federal protections and the interplay between federal and state law. And so the best way to fix this, in our view, is to have effective federal cannabis reform that clears the way for these markets to operate and to operate in a diverse and equitable fashion.
And some associations say the cannabis industry is prepared to handle litigation like this.
We see it as a matter of procedure and not really necessarily an indication of the case's merit.
Livingston adds lawsuits are typical during a rollout of state cannabis legalization. He also emphasized that this litigation does not stop the New York State cannabis market from opening as it only impacts 5 of the 14 regions. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
A longtime financial advisor of the village of Falconer has retired. Treasurer Larry Trask was honored for his decades of service to the village this week. Trask was known to locals as being fair yet stern in, quote, telling it like it is, sharing his opinion and expertise on one of the most important aspects of government, financials. We asked him what advice he'd give to the next person who might take the job.
Remember, this isn't your money, it's not your assets, it is the taxpayers. The taxpayers' money is in the coffers, the taxpayers' fire truck sits in the hall, the taxpayers' plow truck sits in the DPW. Everything that you see and have is because of the taxpayers.
Now in retirement, Trask plans to spend time with his family, expand his model train hobby, and enjoy the great outdoors. Certainly well deserved for a staple of our community. Well, coming up next, we're going to have more on this breaking news situation out of the city of Jamestown here, where fire crews are battling a massive fire at a former factory on Allen Street. We'll check in with our Bronson Rasmussen, who's there at the scene with the latest. But first, continuing our winter weather coverage, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter will have an update on what we can expect tonight. Stay with us.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down. Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our our job
to help you.
to save you.
Despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
15-year-old Yadiel Diaz was subject to a public humiliation stunt by a fellow student in an act of violence and bullying. Now Yadiel's mother, Raquel, has had enough.
Officials are trying to work with the county's homeless coalition to help support the homeless population locally. There are also plans in the works to build 2 new shelters.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And if you think it's weird that we've had all this snow, you're wrong, because November is a month of surprises. We can have all kinds of weather. It is a smorgasbord this month. There is no such thing as normal weather. Average weather, yeah, but normal weather, nah. 34 degrees right now is a noon hour with a southwest wind of 14. That southwest wind is starting to generate some lake effect snow. That is the next weather maker. And it's the same thing we talked about at the top of the show. We have this lake effect snow warning that goes in effect tonight, and it lasts all the way through Thursday evening at 10 o'clock. And I also wanted to show you First Defense Doppler, because that massive factory fire that we had at the top of the show, we actually have a smoke plume returning on radar right now. And the radar beam from the Buffalo radar down here is about 3,000 feet off the ground, 4,000 feet off the ground when it comes down here. So that gives you an idea of how high up in the atmosphere the smoke from that fire is going. So here's the newest run. Now, this is another model that I wanted to show you, because this goes out a little bit further, and it starts to show you some more of that lake effect snow that mainly is going to impact the Buffalo metro area as we go into Friday and through the afternoon. Notice by Thursday night, that lake effect snow band starting to shift northward, and that's really going to be the main issue for the Buffalo metro area, is this band of lake effect snow as it starts to come on through, but it will be sagging southward once again. Now, these are totals just through 7 o'clock Saturday night. There's going to be more snow through Sunday. That 29.7 inch total for Buffalo might actually be too low. I mean, some spots could get well over 3 feet of snow down across the southern tier. Some spots could get over 2 feet of snow. So the First Defense weather forecast for today: lots of clouds, lake effect rain and snow showers, turns to all snow later, 34 to 41. Now the future, next 7 days, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So lake effect snow continues Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, finally ends Monday and Tuesday, Justin. Oh, we'll go to break. I'm sorry. We'll be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this. You will find something.
You will find something new.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
Police and other local law enforcement agencies are looking for the person responsible for a shooting.
One of the benefits of this new feature is it not only works with the newer parking meters that the city's been rolling out, but these traditional meters as well.
From muddy trails to slick cliff edges to structures that have fallen into disrepair, these are just some of the problems that this park faces.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
And finally, a quick update on this massive factory fire here in the city of Jamestown. Crews were called to the scene along Allen Street a little before 11:30 this morning. Our Bronson Rasmussen has been following this since it broke, one of the first reporters on scene. Bronson, what can you tell us just in the last half an hour that we know about this? Bronson? we have you live here if you can hear me. I'm not sure if you still have your earpiece in, but what's the latest there involving the fire? I know it looks like it's now spread to another section of that
That's
complex
right, Justin,
on Allen.
This building behind me, as you can see, used to be 4 stories tall. Now you can only see about 1.5 stories that's here now. If you tuned into our broadcast at noon, you would have seen massive parts of this building fall and collapse onto the street. All that we have learned so far is the time that this place has occurred. We do not know if anyone was inside when the place started. I talked to Mayor Sundquist just a few minutes ago. He is on the phone with the state, with the governor, to try to figure out what resources the city can get to help with this blaze once it's just a pile of rubble.
Yeah, absolutely, Bronson. And we will continue to follow this breaking story throughout the day on air online at WNYNewsNow.com. So stay with us. For Bronson Rasmussen, I'm Justin Gould. This is WNY News Now. We'll see you back here tomorrow live at noon for our traditional programming and updates throughout the afternoon on this breaking story.